Hi class, we are going to learn how to make isometric drawings in Cuttle. And to do that we need a process for transforming our three faces of an isometric image. And there is just a different transform for each face, and so we're going to start with the top. So notice that I have multiple objects in my top face. I have the actual rectangle and the face. But when I do the transformation, I do it at the group level. So this top face is a group. And to do that, I am going to play around with the rotation and the skew until I get something that will align on top of my my isometric cube. And so it turns out that if I have a skew of -30, but then a rotation of +30, then this will align onto my cube. But the problem is it's still too tall. And to fix that, I have to go to my scale. So by default, your scale might just have one number. That means there's a uniform scale. If I click here, it lets me edit one number, but I don't want uniform scale, so I have to do this other thing where I break my uniform scale. So that chain link becomes a broken link, and now I get an X and a Y. And it turns out that if I reduce it by 0.866, this actually happens to be the square root of 3/2, then it gives me the perfect scale so that my my square top is now transformed exactly onto my cube. So let's look at that again. The rotation is 30, the skew is -30, and the Y scale is 0.866. So I'm going to do it again for the front, and the values look very, very similar, except now my skew and my rotation are going to be +30. But it turns out my scale also, my Y scale also needs to be changed to 0.866. And then that will align perfectly on that front face. And then the last one, oh, whoops, this needs to be 30. Okay, now it's going to line perfectly. Okay, and then the last one is my right face. This time it's going to be -30 and -30. But that Y scale has that same transformation, 0.866. Okay, and then I have my isometric cube. So each one of these transformations were done at the group, and that allowed all the elements underneath it to be transformed together. And we're going to follow those same processes. So let's look at that again. So even though I typed in -30 for the right transformation, it changed it to 360, which is actually the same position. And it looks like it's 0.87, but it really is 0.866. It rounded it when it showed the display. But that's it. That's my isometric cube.